All right, second grade, we are going to be making these colorful, warm and cool butterflies. This is what the finished product will look like. Here are some supplies you're going to need. You're going to need your sheet of paper. You're going to need a sheet of paper to go underneath when you're tracing with your black marker or coloring the background, an eraser, a ruler, two different kinds of black marker. One is thick, one is thin, a pencil, of course, and some different color markers. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, I'm going to put this to the side until I need it. The first thing that you're going to want to do is to fold your paper in half. And you might have done this already, but I'm going to go through it again. You want to line up the edges very carefully. And then you're going to turn it to face you like this so that the folded side is on your left and it looks like the paper would open up like a book. But you want to keep it folded. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw half of a butterfly shape into the fold. Okay, so again, this is my folded side. So we want the butterfly body to be pretty long. So we're going to start with half of a head at the top. And then the body will come down almost all the way to the bottom. And it'll be sort of half of an oval shape. So something like that would be just fine. And then we're going to draw two butterfly wings, and we want them to come really far out. And the first one should end about halfway. So for my first wing, I'm going to draw about here, and you can see it's about halfway. And then the bottom wing will come down like this. Okay, and if yours look a little bit different or are shaped a little bit different, that's okay. We just want them to be really big and to fill up the space as much as possible. So now that you have the butterfly drawn, what we're going to do is we're going to go back over and we are going to trace, again, pushing harder with our pencil. You know, I always say draw light till you get it right. And you want to do that at first. But then, once you have it the way you want it, you want to go back over and trace a little bit harder. Because we are going to transfer this to the other side to make one butterfly shape that's exactly the same on both sides. Now notice how I'm turning the paper as I'm tracing. For me, that's just easier. It's easier for me to turn as I go. So do what's best for you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my paper like this. Okay, and I'm going to fold this over. And you're going to need a ruler. And you're going to hold it down at the bottom, because what we're doing is we're not using it for straight lines or to measure. We're actually using it to sort of push down gently, please don't snap these, all along the edge of where we drew the butterfly. Now I can see, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but I can see my butterfly shape through the paper. So I'm going along the edge here. I don't need to do anything in the middle because there's no pencil marks there. So I need to just go along and sort of scratch. And notice I'm holding my ruler on an angle. If you do it like this, it's gonna make a loud noise that we don't wanna hear. Okay, don't do it like that. So hold it back here and just push gently. I also have my thumb on the back. This is probably gonna be a little tricky, but I'll come around and help as needed. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Aha. So you can see that my pencil, because I made it dark, transferred over to the other side. So now what I can do is with my pencil, I can go through and draw that in. And then I will have one big butterfly that is exactly the same on both sides. Okay, now the next step before we get to our black marker is that we are going to draw some swirly loopy lines going through. So if I show you on another sheet of paper, we want to make big swirls like this. We do not want to go like this because this is going to create too many different spots that we need to color. We just want to sort of break up our butterfly by using some curved lines and a couple big loops. Okay, and we're going to draw one loopy line on each side. So if I start here, I might sort of loop around and then curve down to the bottom. And then on this side, I might even go the other way and then curve down to the bottom. Okay, so I've done 2 of those loopy lines, 1 on each side. All right, now you are ready for the black marker. So you're going to put your paper on top of another sheet in case the marker bleeds through, which sometimes it does. We don't want to get it on your desk because it is permanent. And we are going to carefully trace, very carefully, our butterfly. Remember, your black marker is a car and your pencil lines are the road. The car needs to stay on the road. So very, very slowly tracing my butterfly. And remember, I like to turn my paper, so that's what I'm going to do. But if you're not comfortable with that, you certainly do not have to do that. All right. Now the other thing I want to do here is I want to separate my butterfly in half. So I have half of the wings, but I need to connect this line going across the body as well. So we have a top half and a bottom half. Now what you're going to do, and listen very carefully, is you're going to trace the lines inside of the butterfly. So I'm not going to worry about anything outside of here just yet. We are just going to trace what is inside the butterfly, just like this. Only the lines that are inside of the butterfly. See, I didn't do anything out here yet. We'll come back to that later. So here, I'm just tracing. This is all inside, very carefully. Notice how my helper hand is always holding my paper very still. I've always got my hands sort of spread out. Okay, now you're ready to color, unless you have some mistakes. So I traced very carefully, but you can see right here you have some pencils. So if you see a bunch of pencil, you need to take your big eraser, carefully clean some of that up because we want this to look as nice as we can. All right, for the coloring, here are the rules. You're coloring inside the butterfly only. Top half warm colors, bottom half cool colors. Just like on this butterfly, top half warm, bottom half cool. So looking at some of my markers, I can start with the warm colors on the top. So maybe I'll start with a red. And I'm not going to color all this for you now, but I'm going to show you a couple tips. I like to use the side of the marker and outline the space that I'm going to color in first all around the edges like this. And then I can color back and forth, and it sort of gives me like a bumper so that I don't go outside of the lines. Okay, so that might be something you want to try. The other thing is try not to put 2 colors that are the same next to each other. So each of these different sections is going to be a different warm color all the way through. But I want to try not to put 2 colors that are the same next to each other, if I can help it. Okay, so you will continue to color your butterfly using warm colors only on the top. See how I outlined again? And then I just go back and color in. Whoops. If you color like this, you're going to get really little marks, but if you sort of hold your marker to the side, you're going to get these big thick lines, and it will color in bigger spaces faster. Okay, remember to be super neat and show good craftsmanship with this, and then I'll do another video talking about the outside next time.